welcome to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, this is the first time I'm saying that. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, okay, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Shiko, but most people know me as Ivan Shiko. And consider subscribing to this channel where we have lots of fun here. So anyway, funny story, guys. So today I shot a, oh my god, it's raining. Funny story, leo I have a lot of funny story. Listen, leo nikiwa mchana nikamiss mvua. Nikajiambia akiwa hisi kunyesha mara ya mwisho, nimemiss you sound ya mvua. And guess what? It's like the universe is listening to me. It's raining cats and dogs. Can you hear it in the background? Can you hear that? The sound of rain is so calming. I love it. And if you hear some mosh in the background, my boyfriend is spinning some chapatis. Anyway, so funny thing, leo nilikuwa nimeshoot hii episode yote like in daytime. Nikashoot, nikamaliza. Venye nenda kuangalia video venye nakaa, oh my G. Niliangalia nikapata like the sound was not on. Sikuweka mic on. The sound, yani nilichoka, I gave up, my energy just drained. Nikaanza sasa kufanya vitu zingine. So now it's around 11. Ndio na shoot. Msijali mkiona eye bags, I'm really tired, but anyway, that does not outdo the fact that we have to shoot. Okay? So guys, I want us to continue this book. It's long, but it's worth it, right? Come on, watch the first part, her Deadly Secrets. Please go back, watch it, and catch up with us. For the rest of us, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's geek up and get into the ride into another episode of Love, Learn, and Share with me, Ivan Shiko. Anyway, guys, so last time, those who are not with us, my little dystopia, there were words like one look in her eyes and Kira knew. Without even going ahead, guys, I told you to type it in the comment what you think, but let me break it to you. Ollie is dead. Yeah, the guy is dead. So, right now, the writer introduced, by the way, this book is by an author known as Laura Griffin. So, the writer introduces us to yet another character. His name is Jeremy Owens. He is in a Cessna. He didn't like small talk. He was closing in on a 42-hour trip that had bounced him around the globe. He had started in Jakarta and had been through 3 airports before getting waylaid in San Jose and catching a lift on a client's jet. Jeremy was on edge. He needed food, a shower, and about 3 days of uninterrupted sleep before he was fit for human contact. He glanced at his teammate sitting across the aisle from him. He was in worse shape than he was, dealing not only with extreme fatigue, but also a dislocated shoulder that was going to knock him out of active duty for the foreseeable future. Now, the plane taxied to a stop. He caught sight of a familiar pickup parked beside a twin-engine otter. Jeremy grabs his duffel bag and exits the plane. And who is this man standing beside the pickup that he has just spotted? Another character. His name is Eric Morgan. He is dressed in his BDUs. BDU means battle dress uniform. And his boots with a SIG P220 on his hip. So basically, these I think are military guys, even with the way they are dressed and stuff. So this guy has been like on a mission. Amefika tu hivi, asha anataka kuswipewa to another mission. So as soon as he sees Eric Morgan, he as soon as he looks at him and looks at his eyes, he knows that something is up. So he's like, oh, tell me you're not kidding. And Eric is like, nope. Really? Another mission? So basically, Eric tells him to get into the pickup and they drive off. All this time when they're driving off, Eric is briefing him on what is happening. So he tells them that the other team members are waiting for them. Basically, it's a group of 6 guys. Keith, Joel, Trent, Jeremy, Liam, and there you have it. So our guy Jeremy is like the best bodyguard, I guess, and Liam is their leader. Together with Eric, that is a team of 6. So Liam is their leader. So the team is already converged, like he's the only one mwenye alikuwa anangoja toki kwenye anatoka kuja jiunge nao. Together they form a security team called Wolf Security. So Eric briefs him about all this and Jeremy asks, so who's the client? It's like they have been hired privately to do some safety thing or something, to guard a person. So he's like, who's the client? Brock Logan. Remember Brock Logan, guys? Anyway, so I've heard that name before. He's an attorney in Houston involved in some big murder trial that is about to start. Oh, the doctor who killed his wife. I read about it. Yeah, someone tried to take out his legal team last night, killed one of them. Now his law firm is scrambling to hire protection. They've got an in with Liam, so everything is like code red, rapid response. Then Jeremy's like, our entire operation went to shit. We haven't even done a full debriefing yet. And Eric is like, Liam knows that. And he still wants me. That being said, so basically he has been briefed. He's coming out of an operation and is going into another. Just that this one is about safeguarding some attorney and his team. The attorney is Brock Logan. Now, tuache hawa kina Eric na Jeremy, whatever. I'd like to know what is their involvement in all this. Let's go to our girl Kira. She's waking up at 10:45 and she went to sleep at 2 a.m. So turns out she was being interviewed at the police station. So she wakes up, goes to the mirror, she's feeling like crap. She looks at the mirror and she sees a large bruise on her head, like where she had hit the table last night in the near-death incident. And then she sees a cut on her cheek where the bullet had grazed her as it was passing by when the shooter was shooting. So basically she feels like she has a hangover. She's just tired. And then all of a sudden, her jeans start buzzing. What's that? Ollie's phone. One of them anyway. He had at least 3. She had forgotten stuffing it into her pocket. She sank onto the bed and stared at the blood smear device. She didn't recognize the number. God, what if it was his daughter? Had the police notified his next of kin? She needed to turn the phone over to the investigators. And she'd do it when she went back to the station later. Despite being interviewed for 5 long hours, the police still needed her at the police station today. Now she goes on to the shower, takes a quick shower, goes to the closet, takes out a clean pair of jeans, and then all of a sudden, her own phone rings from the charger where it's charging in the kitchen table. Dread tightened as she read the caller ID, Logan and Locke. She closed her eyes. Hello, this is Kiravan speaking. And on the other side is like, Kira, this is Brock Logan. Oh, hi. How are you? I've been better, actually. How are you? Fine. Well, listen, we need to meet. We need to meet with you. And soon. How soon can you get down here? You mean downtown? Guys, I hope you can hear me through all that torrent. That train is really hard. But anyway, I know I'm loud enough. I'm an actor. Anyway, we need you at the farm. We are having a meeting at noon. Can you make it? Kira? And she's like, absolutely, I'll be there. Good. And bring your case files. Everything you have. So Logan tells her to bring her case files. And what are her case files? Her case files consisted of a few slim folders that she had left at Logan's house last night, plus a spiral notebook jammed with research that she had gleaned online, or whatever, she'd swing it like she always did. The most pressing matter now was transport, since her car is still parked at River Oaks, Logan's home. So she now needs to find a new means of transport for today. So she checks out the window to see whether she'll see her neighbor, Gina, who also happens to be her best friend. And on looking out, she cannot see her car in the driveway, so Gina is not home. Now, what she does see is her landlord. Her landlord is by the name Griffin. He's coming home and he owns at least a few properties in town. Now, previously from what I told you, Kira doesn't have that money. She's living basically from hand to mouth. She has not paid her rent. She's overdue. So what do you do when you see your landlord? Hata si wa Kenya tunajua. You close the door, switch off the lights, switch off everything, and uneka kifuli kwa mlango na pretend you're not in. So what she does is she sneaks out through the back door, rushes to the basement, takes out her bicycle, which has not been used in a very long time, dusts it off, takes on the helmet, and out through the back gate she goes, skipping out the neighbors' lawns until she gets onto the lane, and she's out riding like a maniac on the road. So I'm here, landlord. She's diving through cars, and where is she headed? I don't know. And basically, she gets to Logan and Locke farm. It's a very big building. So she climbs the lift, and funny enough, I think it happens like that for most buildings, Zamasonko. Like they usually have 2 lifts. In this building, there's a lift for the nobodies. And then there's a lift for the who's and who's of the town. So she gets in the nobody's lift together with some two other guys, one from DHL. So she gets to the 37th floor. And there she meets the receptionist. Her name is Sydney. So, hey Sydney, I'm here for, oh my god, what happened to you? Uh, oh, looks worse than it is. Really, it's not that bad. Oh, my child, were you there last night at Mr. Logan's house? Yes. Oh my God. I heard about Ollie. I'm so sorry. Uh, Thanks. Listen. Oh, one sec. Yes, hello. This is Sydney, Logan and Locke firm. Yes, how may I help you? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, just wait one second. I'll put you through, okay? Okay, child, what were you saying? Well, I have an appointment. Oh, with Logan? He's out in a meeting, but have a seat. I'll let him know that you're here. So Kira decides to wait in the lobby. Now, in every lobby, there's usually a coffee maker. So she decides, you know what, I've not even had breakfast. So let me make myself a cup of coffee. As she's preparing her own cup of coffee, she spots a man standing like in the rails. He is tall and bulky and looked like a bouncer, only less friendly. He wore a dark suit and tie, and clearly he was some sort of hired muscle because she noticed the bump of a gun at his hip but didn't see a badge. Anyway, she doesn't even bother. Afterwards, Sydney calls her back, tells her that Logan is ready to see her. Now, she tells him, first office on the right. You can't miss it. And true, Sydney was right. You could not miss Logan's office. It was a corner office. A desk sat in front of it, probably for an administrative assistant who wasn't there. Logan's door was open though. He caught her eye and whipped her in. The attorney was on the phone, that is Logan. He didn't get up as she entered. His left arm was in a sling, which was the only overt evidence of his near-death experience from last night. She glanced around his office, pretending to admire the decor as she collected details about the man, starting with the walls of diplomas and awards. You see, Brock Logan was a legend in the legal circles. He had an Irish-American father and a Puerto Rican mother. He had been raised in a Catholic church, as a Catholic, and also she had heard. She had also heard that he had inherited his mother's good looks and his father's taste for bulls. So, basically, Brock Logan is a really handsome guy. Handsome. Yeah, but he likes drinking. Logan's dad had ran an auto repair place in Vermont that was rumored to be a chop shop. Now, for all my fellow geeks out there who don't know what the hell is a chop shop is basically a garage. Ni kama unaonanga saa zingine unasikia magari zimeibiwa, alafu zinapelekwa base fulani zinatolewa spare parts and then they are sold separately. Now that is a chop shop. A chop shop is basically a garage where stolen cars are taken, removed and taken apart and then sold out as spare parts separately. Well, it is said that Logan was not interested in his dad's business, so he left home at 18 and worked 2 jobs to put himself out through school. So basically, a very passionate man about his education. Alijisomesha bana, why? So there's no excuse about not being learned. Anyway, so he ended up his call, stood up and rested his good hand on his hip. Kira, hi. We had not really met well last night. Your oldest partner? Associate. I was his associate. We started working together about 3 years ago. He liked me behind the scenes, you know. Oh, okay then. Sit down. I assume you noticed the detectives on your way in. I did. And I noticed them too. Now Kira is pointing at the big guy outside the door. Oh, that is private security. We hired them this morning. Now Kira looked at the conference room again and counted at least 9 people seated around the table. Everyone wore suits, but the bodyguards were easy to pick because of their muscular builds and their military haircuts. I didn't know the military had a specific kind of haircut. Lots of manpower, I see. It's a big job. Our team has at least 4 attorneys and a paralegal. Well, Kira knew that no matter how many people they had staffed the case, when it came to trial, it will just be Logan and the client at the defense table. He was known as Lone Logan for a reason, you know. Anyway, so Kira looks at her watch and she's like, so you told me that there's something urgent you needed to talk to me about? In a hurry, I see. Well, see, I've got a meeting at the police station and I still have to retrieve my car from your house. No, you don't. What do you mean? They towed it this morning. It's not there. Listen, Kira. I spent several hours this morning with the detectives investigating Ole's murder. Oh, really? Any arrest? No. Suspects? Not yet. I assume you talked to them too. 5 hours last night. I was in surgery then. It was a through and through bullet wound. Messy but not too serious. They discharged me early this morning. Well, glad you're okay. Were you able to give a good description? Not really, since he was wearing a ski mask. So Kira is frowning upon that detail, like, you also didn't see him? So Brooke asks, didn't you notice? Well, it was all a blur. I didn't see much of anything. The detectives told me the gunman, whoever he was, took the laptops and cell phones along with some files off the table. They are working on a theory that he was after information, particularly information about the Queen's case. They think that someone might be trying to throw a wrench into the doctor's defense by gunning down his legal team and stealing the case files. Are you following me, Kira? Sure, but if that was the reason, why aren't you dead? I don't know. Black. I guess I acted dead on the floor, so maybe he bought it. Or maybe he just wanted the hardware. It's possible he was after something we have but don't necessarily know we have yet. In that case, we might just have been collateral damage, and the real goal might have been the electronics. Kira watched him, trying to get her head around the idea. You mean all this was just about laptops and cell phones? Well, why were you at my house last night? Well, because I had some info for Ollie. What info? He told me he had just come up with something big that was going to help Queen, but he had not filled me in yet. Well, I had found some background information on your alibi witness, Robert Park. So that's it. He is your star witness. I'd say he is key to Queen's defense. Look, I'll cut to the chase here, Kira. We'd like to hire you to replace Oliver. You can't just replace Ollie. He has had 25 years on the job. We're in a jam. The trial starts in 5 days. This judge is a former prosecutor and he favors the state. I plan to ask for a continuous, but you won't get it. What? You won't get it. Look, Ollie wasn't Queen's counsel, so his death won't warrant a delay. That's correct. So you see my problem? Ollie knew my case inside out. He knew every report, every witness, and he knew my trial strategy. I don't have time to go and put anyone else up to speed. You want to hire me? That's right. I'd like to bring you in. You'll be working for Logan and Locke. Look yourself. I work for myself, okay? And anyway, Ollie is not my only client. So, what was your arrangement with Oliver Kovac? I charged him by the hour, but I work for an insurance company as well as several other attorneys in town. That's enough. That is a no-go. You'd be working for us exclusively. What was Oliver paying you? So Kira is smart about this one. And she decides to throw in an overtime. So her overtime pay, she throws it out as her normal pay. And he says, I'll double it. Now, at this point, Kira is like, double it. Yeah, but she can't show. So she's like, she's playing it cool, like, yeah, money doesn't excite me, but in the heart, she's like, ni bwana wangu, what? It's like being paid 7,000 per month. Alafu upatan. Okay, let me assume now that one is for an hour. How much would a Kenyan? Okay, watu wa Kenya hata ulipata 500 per day, 700 per day. But okay, let's say you're being paid at what? 7,000 per hour, and then the person tells you I'll double it, so that is 14,000 per hour, and then I just need to work masaa mingi, just 3 hours. So what is that? Anyway, So I'll double it. You know the details of what Oli was working on recently, right? Not at all, but I can get up to speed. I assume you have access to his office, of course. Good. I'll want an update by the end of today. Email works fine if you don't have a chance to get back here. Mr. Logan, I'll need an advance. Darn. Would 1,000 cover it? Two, maybe? Ni mimi bwana wangu. Anyway, I'll have Bev take you by accounting. Then we'll get you briefed on the security arrangement. Briefed? Security arrangement? Well, the firm we brought in, Wolf Security, they'll provide you an agent and take a look at your home security setup and your transportation and your security and all that stuff. My setup? Oh my god, you cracked me. Wait, you serious? Yes. That sounds thorough. Yes, and we will need your full cooperation. This trial starts in 5 days. We have had a serious breach so far and we can't afford another one. The opposition already has an advantage. You act like you think the other side had something to do with Oliver's death. So, you don't actually think they had something to do with it? Have you met Gavin Quinn? No. He is one of the city's top heart surgeons. He spent his career saving lives, not ending them. Look, I'm not the juror here. I just dig up the facts and deliver them to you guys. My client is 100% innocent, and I probably don't have to tell you how rare that is. Gavin Quinn didn't murder his wife, and I plan to prove that at the trial. And you know what else? I think the prospect of him being acquitted had someone running scared. In other words, you mean the person who killed Quinn's wife? Yes. You've worked on the case, so what's your take? My take is that this doctor must be a pretty smooth talker for you to believe his own bullshit. Only mentioned you are a smooth and outspoken person. Look, Mr. Logan, my job isn't to spin things around. It's to track down the facts. Speaking of, I really need to... okay, I'll get Beverly. So, Logan calls down Beverly. Beverly is the one in charge of accounting. She's taken to accounting, giving her account details, and the 2,000 advance will be... $2,000, that's a lot of money, will be wired to her account later. So remember, Kira has been told that she should go and get briefed on a security arrangement. But what does she do? She doesn't want no man keeping track of her. So as soon as she gets out of the accounting office, she quickly dashes to the toilet, washes up and composes herself. She needs to organize her thoughts, okay? So, Brock Logan had hired her and was about to pay her a boatload of money to get, just for her to figure out what Oli was working on right before he was killed. Her chest felt tight. Maybe this was wrong. It was too soon after Oli's death, but Oliver's client needed her and she needed the money. So she took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and she said, I could do this. She had all the week and all the day to, to fall apart, but for now, she needed to stay strong. So she ducked out of the bathroom, checked if anyone was watching, and woo, she did this thing. Out. Elevator, pa 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 pa, and out through the parking. So, because she had left her bike down there with the chains on, she's bending down and unchaining her bike. Then she hears a voice. So, where are we going? Excuse me? Like, who are you to ask me where I am going? Your caravans. Who are you? Jeremy Owen, Wolf Security. Now, Jeremy had shaggy brown hair and tanned skin. He had a square jaw covered with at least a week's worth of beard. I am head of your security detail. We are supposed to have a meeting upstairs for your briefing, which you skipped. My security detail? You're supposed to be part of my security detail? Look, sir. Or Mr. Jeremy. Yeah, not to be rude, Jeremy, but I don't have time for this now, okay? I have a police interview and I'm late to pick up my car. Now, let's reschedule for tonight. Maybe around 6. I would be clear by then, okay? So, and then we can go over whatever this is, all right? She goes on to untie her chain. Now, Jeremy proceeds to take up her bike. Like, literally, he just picks it up. You know, muscles, like, excuse me, put down my bike, sir. No. No? Come with me. And then Jeremy proceeds to walk back to the building. And I can imagine Kira, because I bet she was like a 5'4" or a 5'3" something. So she's walking behind him like, hey, sir, put down my bike. Look, come, I have no time for this. Sir, please put down my bike. And they're like, let's reschedule this. And Jeremy's like, rescheduling is not an option. But I'll make it quick if you want. And then we can get your interview. Okay, look, let's start over. My name is Jeremy Owen, lead security specialist for Well Security. Okay, my name is Kira Barnes. Good to meet you. I understand that you're on the defense team that was targeted yesterday evening. Yes and no. It's a long story. Look, is this really necessary? I don't need a bodyguard. I'm very, very late for something. So can we, if you don't like the arrangement, take it up with your boss. I don't work for Oli, then take it up with the firm. They hired us to protect Logan's team and I was told you're on it. Or am I wrong about that? No, you're right. Sorry, it has just been one of those mornings. No problem. Hey, so Jeremy, any chance you have a car here? Yes. Where are we going? So Jeremy offers to drive Kira. Remember, Kira has only a bicycle. She doesn't have a car. Her deadbeat car was towed yesterday from River Oaks. So as they're going, they get to know more about each other. Now, first of all, Kira makes a stop at the ATM. But when they get to the ATM, you know, US, their ATMs are just out in the open, like on the streets. You can find them anywhere. Not in Kenya, guys. Watu wa diaspora, mshaona hapi ATM huku Kenya ikiwa kwa street ati. Hey, Kenyans? No. They're usually inside the building. Inside the building for our safety. We know ourselves. Anyway, so when they get there, Jeremy is overprotective, literally. He gets out of the car, checks the surrounding, and then permits her to get out the car. All right, look, like I said, I'm in a rush, all right? According to his description, Jeremy is a really handsome guy. I don't see what the problem is. Come on, Kira, you're having a hot shot following you around. Anyway, so the next stop, let them go and pick Kira's car so that she can release Jeremy to go back. So when they get there, the Iron Boy brings Kira's car, and just one look at the car, and Jeremy is like, no. You're not going to use this car. You are going to get late there because what if it breaks down on you? I'll drive you myself. At some point, I tend to think that Jeremy is just having fun following Kira around. Probably Kira is a very, 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 very beautiful girl. So he's like having fun walking around with her or something. So, new plan. When they are going, remember now they're supposed to go to the police station where Kira has an appointment with Charlotte Spears, the detective. But along their way, they decide to change their time. So Kira says, you know what? Let's change. Let's go to Oliver's office. And why is that? Because somewhere along the journey, Oliver's phone rang from her jeans. She's carrying it. Remember, she's taking it to the police station. And then it was the same number that she didn't recognize from before. So they go to the Ollie's office. And when they get there, before they could stop, you know, there's a stop sign. And then from there, they could see Ollie's office. You know, his military senses, Jeremy, are like sharp. So Jeremy already sees police officers. Some of them are ununiformed and one carrying a crowbar. So he's like, he just drives past the building like they weren't even supposed to there. So Kira is like, come on, you're passing the office. And Jeremy's like, didn't you see them? And then on looking back, she could stop the police. So they were like, oh my God. So they'll need to come back later. So eventually they drive and get to the police station. And anapata amengojewa na Detective Spears. So, Miss Vance, we've been waiting for you. Remember Alex Diaz? Hi. So can we get you a coffee, water? No thanks. But then let me tell you something. Urona, if you ever go to a police station, say you are going to report something, or you have been called in as a witness or something, and they give you a bottle of water or coffee or tea. I don't know if they do that in Kenyan discuss, but if they ever do that, don't drink that water. Wanataka collect DNA yako because definitely you leave your saliva there and they'll have it. So just a quick tip, and don't ask me how I knew. I just know. Maybe it's the movies. Anyway, so we'll get straight into it. Our investigation is still in the preliminary stages, but everything indicates that this was not a typical armed robbery. We are treating it as a targeted hit. We want to know whether you noticed any suspicious persons hanging around lately, maybe near your home or in your office. My office? No. Are you sure? Yes. What about cell phones? Okay, phone calls, messages, any suspicious vehicles following you around? No. Why? Ollie's office was hit. What do you mean, hit? Ransacked. Someone trashed it. They were looking for something. We don't know whether they found it. Well, when did this happen? We just learned about it. We don't know when it happened, but we're checking the nearby businesses to see if anyone heard or saw something. It leads us to wonder if Oli might have been the true target of last night's attack, not Logan as he had originally thought. So previously they thought that definitely because the attack happened in Logan's house, so probably it was Logan who was the target. But now Charlotte is telling them probably Oli was the true target. We think that maybe Oliver covered something or maybe knew something. Something that got him killed? Yeah. Any thoughts? I have no idea. Did he have any enemies that you know of? People who threatened him or might have a grudge? Sure, just try every cheating husband he has ever tracked down and exposed. I thought he worked as a criminal defense work. He does now, but previously he used to work with domestic cases and insurance fraud, like most of us do. He still works on some cases from time to time when he gets special requests. Miss Vance, back to the shooter. Can you be sure he wasn't someone you've seen before, maybe while going out on your normal routine? I already told you, I didn't recognize the man. We'd like you to sit down with a sketch artist. See if you can get a more detailed description. Look, I keep telling you, I barely saw the guy. That's a Caucasian, sunglasses, and a hoodie. That's all I saw. So any sketch I give is going to look like any Unabomber. Nevertheless, we'd like you to try. We have confidence in our artist. You've known Oliver for what? 5, 6 years? I'd like to think that you'd want to bring his death to justice. Well, yeah, of course, I'd like to help however I can, but I just don't know what you want me to tell the artist. The guy was jogging in the rain and I only saw him like for a millisecond. But if you think it might be helpful, well, whatever. We think it might be helpful. We'll set it up and get you back in time, okay? So as soon as they finish telling her that they'll set up another appointment where she's going to sit down with the sketch artist, I hope all of you know what sketch artists do in these investigators. They basically sit down with you and you tell them what you remember. Like, say if I saw you, I like describe he was tall, he was wearing this and this, he had a mustache, he had a tattoo here and here, and then the sketch artist will basically do what you're telling him, and by the end of that, he'll have the face of a person. They are usually by they're really good. Hey, God alipea watu talent. Una sketch mtu mpaka anakaa huyo. Just from a person telling you how they look. Hata hujamuona, ni kusikia unasikia. So afterwards, they tell her they'll set up an appointment. And Detective Spears and Alex Diaz are on their way out when Kira calls them back and hands them Ollie's phone. The one that she has been possessing. So they're like, is this Ollie's phone? Yeah. I thought it was stolen. Logan told us that their phones were taken from the kitchen with the laptops. That was probably a banner. Ollie kept a bunch of phones. He is always juggling numbers. Why? Detective work. PI. You never want someone to know who is on the other end of the line. So why didn't you give us this phone last night? I forgot I had it. Do you know the passcode? No. Did you try to unlock it? I already told you. I don't know the passcode. Well, thank you. That's not the answer you were looking for, but maybe this will be a bit helpful. And then just as she is on her way out, Detective Spears tells her, if I was you, I would not turn down that security. And that's it, guys. I want us to stop there for today's episode. My eyes are hurting because it's late in the night. Let's stop there. We shall continue tomorrow. So at least today we have met a new character, Jeremy Owen. I'd like to see what he'll have to do with, because I hope he'll be like the love interest to Kira. When you're now follow ni kama yako na mambo zake. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I love you so much. Let me get to my night routine, guys. I love you. Please don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe if you have not. See you on the next one. Bye. So tired.